Welcome. Today we are going to take a look about the Dragonknight class. So in the first part I will be talking about the 3 different skill trees, plus I will showcase the skills, and in the second part I'm going to talk about PVE and PVP, and I will make sure to put links of different builds into the description so you can go check them out as well. Also make sure to not forget to subscribe for even more content. Anyway, let's get started. Ardent Flame skill tree first. So the ultimate is one of the strongest in game. So there is 2 versions. Shifting standard can basically be placed twice on the ground, but usually people prefer standard of the might because first off it has a 20% increased damage, and then we have 20% incoming reduced damage, so that's really nice, and you also have a heal debuff on the enemy, plus you deal flame damage to all people that's standing in this huge area. Lava Whip, so the Molten Whip morph gives you more overall damage on your Ardent Flame abilities, whereas the Flame Lash has also a healing effect once the enemy is set off balance. So Searing Strike, so those 2 morphs, Venomous Claw is for stamina users, deals increased damage over time, and Burning Embers is for Magicka users, which has a great healing effect once the dot ends. Fury Breath, first morph, Noxious Breath, is a stamina morph which puts Major Fracture on the enemy, reducing their physical resistance. Second morph, Magicka morph, which increases the flame damage of all your fire skills. Fury Grip, so first morph pulls you to the enemy and the second morph pulls the enemy to you. Inferno, Flames of Oblivion is a damage ability and Cauterize heals you, so it looks like this. Next up, Draconic Power, first of the ultimate, so either take flight, costs less, can jump further and deals really nice damage. Ferocious Leap gives you a damage shield. Next up, Spiked Armor, so there's a lot of defensive abilities in this tree. The Hardened Armor gives you like a small damage shield, and Volatile Armor does like a pulsing of damage over time effect around you. Dark Talons, so the Burning Talons give you a damage over time effect, and the Choking Talons reduce the enemy's damage. Dragon Blood, so Green Dragon Blood gives you major endurance, though you also get this from potions, and Coagulating Blood gives you more healing received. Reflective Scale, so Reflective Plate gives you minor ward, increasing your spell resistance, and Dragonfire Scale reflects the enemy's spells or arrows to the enemy. Earthen Heart skill tree, so let's start with the ultimate first. Now we have Magma Shell. When you activate this you kind of put damage shield on all your bodies, so as long as this is active you're basically invulnerable. You only take 3% of the actual damage, which is insane. Now the other morph of the ultimate ignores all physical resistance and it deals poison damage around you. Stonefist, so Obsidian Shard deals less damage but has kind of a healing effect, and the Stone Giant knocks enemies down and it gives you a small armor bonus. Molten Weapons, so Igneous Weapons gives you spell and weapon damage bonus buff, and Molten Armaments gives you only a spell damage buff, but your heavy attacks do 40% more damage. Obsidian Shard, so Igneous Shield morph gives you major mending, increasing your healing down by 25%, and Fragmented Shield deals damage to enemies around you when they try to destroy the shield. Petrify, so fossilize, kind of immobilizes the enemy after this stun ends, and Shattering Rocks deals damage when the stun ends, so it looks like this. This is a really effective ability. Then we have the Ash Cloud, so this is also AoE effect. Cinderstorm, so this snares enemies even after they leave the area, and Eruption deals damage on impact. In terms of passives, Dragoknights have really strong passives in all of those 3 skill trees. Ardent Flame is focused on damage, so you can see like World in Ruin increases damage of flame and poison, AoE effects. You have like increased damage on some of the skills, etc. The Draconic power is more focused on defensive stuff like additional blocking, more healing received and that kind of stuff, more spell resistance. And Earthen Heart is kind of the Dragonknight's resource management pool. Dragoknights have one of the strongest, let's say, resource management, because you see, for Helping Hands, activating an Earthen Heart ability restores 5% stamina. So every time you click one of those skills, you get 5% of your stamina back. Mountain's Blessing, so if you're in combat, you gain free ultimate when you activate a Earthen Heart ability, plus you gain 5% weapon damage. Now, probably one of the most special passives, Battle Roar. Whenever you activate the ultimate, you gain 70% of the ultimate's cost back. It's not 70%, the tooltip is wrong, but it's probably, like, depending on how high the cost is. So let's say we have the standard 250, it will probably give you 10k of each resources back, maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure anymore. So those make the Dragonknight actually really strong in terms of resource management. Now let's move on. Now in terms of PvE and PvP, PvE wise, Dragoknights make really strong tanks, like basically all tanks are Dragoknights, and like Magicka or Stamina, Dragoknights are really strong damage dealers. Melee though, because you have really strong dots and you want to make sure to keep the dots up, and it only has a 10 meter radius, 5 meter radius, so you need to be close up to the enemy at all times. Then they are not really famous for healing, you can heal with them, but I wouldn't recommend it. I will leave links in the description with different builds so you can go check them out to actually get kind of an idea. Then about PvP, so Dragoknights, the stamina DKs are really strong, Magicka DKs are also really strong. However, Magicka DKs are more difficult to play, at least that's my opinion. I will also make sure to leave like build videos in the description so you can go check out those builds and kind of get an idea on how you probably should be playing a Dragonknight in PvP or also PvE. Now that's it, thanks for watching and have a nice day, cheers.